All right, my name is Robert Johnson. I was here at Youth for Tomorrow from 2000 to 2001.
What did Youth for Tomorrow mean to you at the time you were here, Robert? And we'll talk about what you're doing now. You're very successful, but what at the time did it mean to you?
At the time, I didn't know what it really meant to me. I was confused. At the time, I thought it meant nothing, actually, because I didn't want to be here. It was a lot of things that was going on. But when you look back on it, you realize that it was a lot more positivity here than it is out in the world. Once you get out in the world, you start to see all of these things that you just didn't know existed as you are when you're young. And then, you get an opportunity to leave, and you leave from here, and then you see so much. It's a lot different than the way that people treat you. It just is the biggest thing is honestly, like when you're here, you can feel the love, but then when you get outside in the world, there is no love. So it was good to have a place in my life where I can know and genuinely say that there was a time period when people actually really cared about my well-being versus just being out for themselves. I mean, how people are in the real world,
Yeah, I'm going to talk about what you're doing now in a moment, but I would say that Youth for Tomorrow changed your life. Is that a fair statement? And in what ways did it change your life?
Definitely changed my life because a lot of the male figures here gave me a male figure. I didn't have one. My dad wasn't around. So that definitely was something that helped that helped give me a major shape in my life. I can remember a few of the males here, Mr. Greg. Greg is still here, I think, and
He is, yeah.
and he was the one who taught me how to play ball. Not really taught me how to play, but he was the one who taught me how to play as good as I am. Now I'm very good. I got a good jump shot, but that came from him. He has the best jump shot ever. I don't know. They're lucky to have him here and not playing in the league, but
That's great. Tell me your story. Why did you end up at Youth for Tomorrow when you came here?
Man, I was out doing everything. I was stealing from the store. I was just acting out because I seen my dad just do a lot of things when I was growing up, and it kind of affected me, and I was just lashing out. And I went to court, and it was either go to jail or come here. And I don't know how my mom found this place. My mom was just searching, and she was just praying for some answers, and somehow somebody told her about Youth for Tomorrow, and she brought that up to the judge, and the judge was lenient enough to send me here instead of keep me in jail. Because actually, I was actually in jail. Actually, juvenile is what they called it at the time. But so it gave me a chance to get out of there and then, get into here and get myself a real education and stuff like that.
Where you from? And coming here, did it seem like a different world?
Yeah, it definitely was a different world because it was more structure. I can remember a lot of structure. I'm from everywhere. I'm a military brat. So I lived everywhere. I lived in California, Texas. I mean, you name it. When I came here, at the time, my mother was living in Centerville. And it was a bit different than going to Centerville High School. And it was more structure. Classes were a lot smaller. So the teachers had more one-on-one interaction with the students.
This is a place that is run on godly principles. Was that something that you found when you were here? Did you have that before you got here?
My mother used to always stress it, and used to go to church a lot with my mom. Used to go to church and Bible study and things like that. But I was too busy doing other things. I didn't really get an opportunity to sit down and have that one-on-one time with God, if that makes sense. But then when I got here, being the way that they have things set up, it allowed me opportunity for that door to open and me to kind of have a relationship with God going into my adult life, which is something that I later on found out that I would need again. But the definitely being here had the opportunity to open up the door for that by the principles that they teach here and just kind of reinforcing some of the things that I that I was taught at home, and some of the things that some of the other students maybe were not taught at home.
Tell us what you're up to these days, your professional career.
Okay, well, right now I'm in real estate. So I sell a lot of houses. I've sold a lot of houses here in the area. So right now I'm just expanding, just getting another real estate license right now in another state, so that way I can have more opportunity, and be able to serve more families.
How does it make you feel when you come back here? It looks different, I know that.
Yeah, it looks different, but it's weird. It's kind of weird being here. I haven't been here in such a long time, and it just brings back a lot of memories. I wish I could go back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they always say that, like when you get older, like you'll wish, you be like, whatever, you always thinking that, but I wish I could actually go back. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could go back in time, and this is not something that I would skip. If I could go back in time, I would do You for Tomorrow over again.
A couple of folks mentioned Dr. Gary Jones, who runs this campus.
Dr. Jones,
Yeah,
yes.
what are your recollections of him, and what did he mean to you at the time you were here?
Well, Dr. Jones was caring. Dr. Jones was the lighter end of the rod, but he definitely took time to care about the students. It's kind of it's he was always around. He always came around, always came through to come say hello and talk to people. And if you needed to talk to him, you could always set up a time that you could sit down and talk to him. So for as long as I can remember, Dr. Jones was always a help. I can't remember a time when nobody didn't like Dr. Jones. I think Dr. Jones dealt well with from the worst of them to the best of them. So, yeah, that's what I can say about him.
Excellent. To wrap it up, what advice might you give a kid that might be in a similar position as yourself at the time, youngster who might need some guidance in his life, and how Youth for Tomorrow it was your answer?
I would say just take it easy. I would say that it looks like it might be the end. Like, oh man, like I have to go to this place. Like it might just seem like the end of your life, but life is so long and it's so short, but it's also so long. Like you get other opportunities to do other things, so you might as well take in what you can take in while you're here. Take in the education, take in the fellowship, take in the godly principles, take in the learning how to be a better person in society, so that when you leave, you have those skills with you, because those are things that you're gonna need. But coming here is not as bad as you probably think it is, especially in the beginning. I remember in the beginning, like I just did not want to be here. But if you ask me now where I am in life, if I had to do it over again, I would. This would be one of the things that I would do over again, versus saying, I probably wouldn't do that, I'd do something else.
I said it was the last question, but it would seem to me you got a pride when you come back here, and that you know what this place meant to you, and you are a great example of someone who's been very successful in life, and they might have just needed a little help along the way.
Definitely, I needed a lot of help along the way, and I got a lot of help. Like I said, it was people here that care. I mean, like I said, like the staff members, mainly some of the male staff members that were in the particular house that I was in, because I didn't get an experience to be with everybody, because even then, when it was so smaller, we still had the transition house, you had the annex. So even though we came across, you just kind of didn't really get to experience. But the people that were and where I was at, they definitely had a big effect on, just how I carried myself as a male. I mean, some of them were cool, some of them were more stiff than others, but for the most part, though, I can say that I had a positive experience. That they had a positive impact on my life, though, when I didn't have any positive males around that were doing what they were doing, or talking about what they were talking about, or trying to give me the example that they were trying to give me.